Hi, I'm Terry from the Outloud Foundation in St. Albert, and we're here to do a flag raising like we've done in previous years. I guess the big difference is we usually tried to get as many people out as we could before. Now it's the complete opposite, where we have to stay under 50, right? So most of this is going to be online, streaming, and that sort of thing. But we do have a few dignitaries here who are going to introduce, I guess, all at once, and then they'll come up separately and be able to say a little bit about why this is important for them as well. So the presentation is, of course, being filmed and will be on YouTube as well as Facebook. We have our MLA for St. Albert, Marie Renaud, will be coming up to say something. The Honourable Leela Aheer is over there, and she'll be coming up. And of course, the Associate Minister Dale Nally, followed by our wonderful Mayor Cathy Heron, who makes all this kind of stuff possible. So yeah, if I can have Marie Renaud come up and just explain, I guess, a little bit of why raising a flag is important for you, and just to show kind of the province, hopefully, what this is all about.
So thank you all for coming today. It's my pleasure to be here again to celebrate the rainbow flag, having it put up. And I just want to thank the leadership and the people of St. Albert. St. Albert was the first city to introduce a ban against, here I'm looking for the words here, conversion therapy. And through a bylaw, it was a long debate, but in the end, I think St. Albert was a real leader, as always. Whether it's painting the crosswalk in rainbow colors or celebrating Pride in the park, which we've done for a few years now. Not going to happen this year, unfortunately, but I think it's about leadership. And it is one thing to raise a flag, it is quite another to have done the work to deserve to raise the flag. And sadly, currently, right now, our provincial government is really the only one in Canada that has rolled back LGBTQ rights for students. And so I'm glad the Minister is here today, but for all of us to make a commitment, actually to do the hard work and to make the investments that make us sort of eligible to be here today and to raise the flag and to say proudly that we are doing everything that we can to promote inclusion. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Marie. Okay, and now we'll have, Minister Leela Aheer.
Thank you.
Yeah, come up and seat, just right here.
Thanks, Terry. Thank you to everyone can you hear me okay back there? I know it's sort of hard to hear. Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for having me today. Terry and Mia, you are huge heroes to us. One of the most important things that we find with any situation is the ability to talk and have conversations and have those supports and to be able to help families and communities to be able to come together. If anything that I've learned this week, especially with everything that's happened, we had the very first year of acknowledging the missing, murdered women, Indigenous girls. The information that came out from that gathering of information, and when you think about that, we're also standing on Treaty 6 land, and to honor the first peoples that came before us, to honor those histories and our storytellers that tell us so much about what building community is all about, and how we have to work together, and how it is that when we come together in collaborations like what you and your daughter have done, to make sure that families have an ability to come together and support our beautiful families right across this entire province, this beautiful province. When we see how many people have come together under Black Lives Matter, it shows how engaged and how incredibly wonderful this province is to acknowledge and understand the various populations we have. I come from Chestermere, Strathmore, and when I grew up there, I was one of the very, very first people of color. And it was really interesting seeing the entire transition through that area, which is now a really, really ethnically diverse area, and also diverse in background, sexuality, and so many other things. And it's beautiful to see all of these different groups come together. And I have to tell you, to be invited today, to be able to participate, to help put up this flag, I'm beyond humbled, and I look forward to working with all of you. We understand also that we honor Stonewall. Stonewall started off not because of a parade that was celebrating. It was to stand up for the rights of people who never had those rights. That was one of the very few places that was safe in the world for organizations to come together who were under the LGBTQ2S plus community. And they had the ability to find their strength to be able to come together and stand up for each other. And now we celebrate Pride. We celebrate it with all of our hearts and minds together, collaboratively, not politically, and not with negative messages. We celebrate together because that's how we build a community, is together. So thank you again so much. I'm so honored. Thank you, Your Worship, for including me today. Thank you so much, all of you. Terry, Mia, again, we look up to folks like you to learn better, to be better legislators, and hopefully to really create a space where everybody has safe and welcoming communities. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Lela. And now we'll have the Honourable Member Dale Nally come up and say a couple of things. Thanks.
Hi, everybody, and thank you, Minister Aheer, Mayor. It's absolutely wonderful to be here. The reason this is important to me is I've been going to Pride events since before I went into politics. So you can imagine how disappointed I was last year when Edmonton cancelled theirs. And then Calgary had made the difficult decision to not allow politicians to come to theirs. And so I was disappointed about that. But it was Minister Aheer who was the one that told me, don't worry, I'm going to sneak you in. And she did. So Minister Aheer, thank you for that. And you know, that's it's important that we take this opportunity to recognize, because for me, Pride is about recognizing how far we've come while also recognizing the work is not done. There's a lot more work that has to be done. It is not about bragging whose Pride flag is bigger. It's about celebrating diversity. So my ask is that we take the partisanship out of Pride and let's just celebrate diverse and safe communities. And so that's my message, is regardless of who you love or how you identify or how you choose to celebrate that identity, know that we hear you, we understand, we love you, and we just want to be part of an inclusive, diverse community. So, folks, thank you very much. Happy Pride.
Thanks, Dale. All right, if we can have Mayor Heron please come up, and there's actually a proclamation as usual too. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. Can y'all hear me? Y'all? I'll just say a couple words to add to what has already been said. First of all, I really need to thank the Minister for coming. It is really a true big honor for us to have you in St. Albert for such a big day, and it makes it very special for us, so thank you for coming. I need to also thank, of course, my council colleagues. I have Councillor Ken Mackay here, Councillor Jackie Hansen with Molly, wearing her pride sock, and then I think Natalie Jolly's over there with the big camera. So thank you three for coming. I know you always attend these events, and I'll just say that, yes, St. Albert, I wouldn't want to say you're a leader, but it's hard not to, because we have put that crosswalk on. It was one of the first things we did as a council. Councillor Tim Osborne made the motion a couple years ago to hang this flag, and it has flown every year since then. And then, of course, the conversion therapy ban was one of the first in all of Canada. So I would say that myself as mayor and this council will not shy away from what some people find uncomfortable. We will not. We will do what's right all the time. And so the flag is a symbol of that commitment in St. Albert, and it's also a huge recognition of the work that Terry and Mia do. This Outloud has been around for
6 years?
More than that, isn't it? 6 years?
6 and a little bit.
It is, and it's grown and grown and grown, and the hours that you two put in, generally on a purely volunteer basis, has grown now to having your own space, and hopefully open every day of the week once COVID's gone, that you can welcome anyone in and just have a conversation and be welcoming and inclusive here in St. Albert, and that's who we are. So I will read the proclamation. So, whereas diversity is a vital and integral part of our society, and whereas the spirit of inclusion, equity, and human rights are pillars of our community, And whereas there is a necessity to actively support lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, two-spirit, and queer persons to be supported as full and equal members of our community, and whereas we should all take pride in our identities and never feel we must hide who we are at work, school, or within our families and communities. Now therefore, on behalf of Council, I, Cathy Heron, Mayor of the City of St. Albert, do hereby proclaim June 2020 as St. Albert Pride Month and encourage all residents of this city to reflect on the diverse and important contributions members of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, two-spirit, and queer community have contributed to St. Albert and express our sincere gratitude for helping make our community a place we can all be proud to call home. So we're going to raise the flag, and I would say I just read a proclamation that said it's Pride Month. This flag will be up as long as it possibly can, but it's also going to be National Indigenous Peoples Day later on this month, so we will lower it for a little bit to put the Treaty 6 and the Métis flag. We're going to share this flagpole, but this flag will be up as long as it possibly can. So,
Thank you very much.
Oh, Mom, I'll do
Yep,
that.
I can't do that.
Glossy this.
Perfect, thanks, Cathy.
Right. You wanna-
You bet, yeah. As long as flag's up more than a day, then we'll be quite happy. But yeah, we do have one other thing actually from another group. We would like to pass along a message from Shades of Color. It's a BIPOC support and advocacy group, kind of like Outloud is essential to support and advocate for queer and trans BIPOC communities. Systems aren't going to support us, and so a big part of the work we do is supporting each other through mutual aid networks. We recognize that Black and Indigenous communities are disproportionately marginalized even within BIPOC spaces. And it is imperative that we recognize that while doing this, advocacy work around BIPOC communities. So, you know, of course, there's big things in the news, of course, about the death of Mr. Floyd as well. And all of this is tied together. You know, it's surprising that we have to do all these kind of things as humans, but here we are, right? And we'll continue doing it for as much as we can, for as long as it takes, and do the best job, of course, that we can. So if we can have the flag brought up. As well is that we want to do more social media. So what we're looking to do is either with the crosswalk that you see behind us or with the pride flag, come up after, of course, social distancing and everything, but take a picture with the flag. Put it on your Facebook, your Twitter, your LinkedIn, your Instagram, all of that sort of thing. Do the same kind with the crosswalk behind us. You know, show your pride. Show people that this matters to somebody more than just you know, some guy and his kid kind of thing. There's a lot of people who care, and so yeah, we want to prove that to people. And you know, I'm not a big guy on things going viral or whatever, but when positive things go viral, it's very, very good. So.
We're using the hashtag STAPride.
Okay, and we're using the hashtag STAPride.
And hashtag T8N together.
And hashtag T8N together, I guess both of them. But yeah, thank you very much all for coming, and yeah, grab a picture and put it on social media. Thank you very much.